You have a 1,000-gallon precast concrete septic tank here. The tank overall looks okay. The lid on the tank here is loose. It's just these old brass caps on the cast iron cleanouts. The threads get worn out, so that should be repaired, replaced. Other than that, the tank looks okay. There's about 12 inches of solids in there currently.
How many should there be?
It depends on the amount of people and how frequently it's been cleaned.
Okay.
You said 4 people moving in. So one thing we'd recommend on this tank is that a riser grade be installed. So in the middle of the tank, there's that manhole-sized lid. Installing access to that lid is beneficial, facilitates better access for cleaning.
Okay.
So with the amount of solids now, 4 people moving in, I'd say within a year to 2, get it cleaned out, and every 2 to 3 after that.
Okay, great.
So that's it for the tank. Front line looks good. Camera from the tank back to the house. It's the original cast iron line. There's a wait for this car to go by. There's a little bit of pitting around the inlet pipe. It's a cast iron line, so it just gets corroded, rusted a little bit. So you'll see on the camera report pictures of that. It's not causing issues now, just something to monitor. If it gets worse, it could be a potential future clogging point.
Okay. How old, can you tell how old the tank is? Or you said there were multiple, or am I jumping ahead?
So it's just one septic tank, and then there's 3 dry wells.
Got it. Okay.
So the tank...
Can you explain like really quickly how that works? Because I think this will be...
So everything you flush down a toilet, anything goes down a drain, it's all going to go to the septic tank first. The solids will get trapped in the septic tank. So it's just a precast concrete rectangle box that has a back baffle that traps all the solids in the tank. The liquid waste goes through a back line, leaving the back of the tank, and goes to your absorption system, which here is 3 dry wells. So we'll go over that in a second. I think it was 70. What's the age of the property?
65. I would have to look. Yeah, 65.
65 is when the tank was installed, and when the 2 dry wells, the 2 existing dry wells, original dry wells were installed.
Is it common for a tank from 1965 to still be okay?
It is, for a precast concrete tank, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
How much longer, do you have any idea, like how much longer it should have on it, or is it just kind of maintain?
Yeah, they can last 50, 60 plus years. Some things might need to be repaired, like the baffles tend to get corroded and deteriorate and fall off. So yeah, the precast concrete tanks can last for a long time.
Okay. If it was put in 1965 and we're in 2019, it's towards the end of its life?
Potentially, yeah, but I'm not seeing any issues right now other than the little bit of pitting in the inlet pipe, and again, it's not causing issues right now.
Okay.
And the lid being loose, and recommending the riser.
Okay.
So other than that, the tank looks good. The liquid level is where it should be in the tank, so we know the tank's watertight. It's not leaking, which is the most common major issue you have with septic tanks. They need to be watertight. So this one is. So yeah, other than those little things we talked about, the integrity of the tank looks fine.
Okay, awesome.
So moving on to your absorption system, again, you have 3 dry wells here. The 2, one next to the driveway, which I'll be calling dry well 1 in the report, and then the second one in the middle of the yard here, dry well 2. Those 2 were original when the property was built. In the 70s, they added a drain field off of dry well 1.
Got it.
So near the top of that dry well, there's a drain field that leaches out. It goes across the driveway. It's 50 feet. It goes over to the left of the yard. I probed over that trench. It's dry. Right now, it's not receiving any effluent. And the reason for that is the line from the distribution box to that dry well is either clogged or collapsed.
Okay.
I couldn't get the camera inside of that line because there's 2 distribution boxes here. The distribution that feeds to that first dry well is right under that tree there.
Okay.
So that line is going to need to be repaired, replaced by a licensed septic contractor.
Okay.
Most likely they'll have to remove that tree to do that.
Okay.
That distribution box there is about 3.5 feet below grade. But there's a line that goes from that little concrete distribution box out to that dry well, and obviously there's a clog or a collapse because I can see inside the dry well and I can see the inlet pipe. No liquid is entering that dry well when I'm introducing it into the system.
Okay.
The second dry well is receiving all of the effluent that's going into, I'm calling it distribution box number 2. So sorry, this is getting a little confusing.
No,
but
you're good.
You'll have a sketch of everything.
Yeah.
You'll have camera
And they
video
can
of
always
everything.
call with
They can always
questions.
call with questions, right? So that line looks good. Again, we couldn't camera it because of the access with the tree. But everything, all the effluent is reaching that second drywall. That drywall has a total depth of about 12 feet. There's about 2.5 feet of liquid depth remaining in that one.
Okay.
So moving on to the newer part of the system, which was installed in, I think it was 92, 93. So this will be labeled drywall or distribution box number 1. So there's a line leaving the back of the tank here that goes into this distribution box, and then there's 2 lines leaving this distribution box. One goes to distribution box number 2, where it splits to go to these 2 dry wells, and then the second line leaving this distribution box goes right to that newer dry well.
Okay.
So that newer dry well, the one on the side of the house with the PVC cap there, that was installed in the 90s. That one has a total depth of approximately 8 feet, and it's hydraulically loaded. So it's filled up to the inlet pipe. So no liquid right now is draining out of that dry well. It's completely filled. That happens over time. These dry wells absorption systems typically last about 30 to 40 years. That can vary with usage, maintenance, and soil perk rates. So this one's filled. It's starting to back up into that distribution box. Once that happens, it's either gonna leach out into the second distribution box and then go into the 2 dry wells, or if there's an issue with those 2 dry wells, it's gonna start to back up or surface, and that's when the entire absorption system is failing.
Okay. But it's not entirely failing.
It's not
it just
entirely
needs a
failing,
couple.
but we do have issues that need to be repaired, replaced.
Absolutely.
Mainly being that line from distribution box number 2 to dry well number 1.
And then over here.
So over here, there's not much you can do with that. It's going to be up to the septic contractor. They can let it rest, so they can cap that pipe off so no effluent is reaching it. But it's not really necessary because it's not surfacing. It's just backing up into this box.
Is that okay?
And then going, yeah.
Okay.
And then going into the second distribution box.
So would the fix ultimately be to make a new one of those?
Once these 2 aren't functioning, yes.
Okay.
So once all 3 dry wells are hydraulically loaded, like dry well number 3 is, then all 3 will be abandoned, and a new absorption system will be installed. So they'll install drain fields, not dry wells now. Or if public sewer is available, the county would say, this is available, you need to connect to public sewer.
Okay, cool.
I don't know where in the neighborhood it is. I can see all the neighbors here are still on septic, so my guess is that it's not that close, but a call to the county, you could find that out.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that is about everything. 2 other minor things. The caps on, sorry, watch that. The caps on these 2 older dry wells, same thing with the cap on the tank. They got rusted. They fell actually into the dry well. So there was just grass covering that. If I have a spare cap, I'll put on top of it, but it's not going to be secure because, again, those metal caps just get corroded. So 3 caps need to be replaced.
Okay, cool.
And then that's it.
Awesome. Thank you.